a high school player in Iowa. You get a call from Mike Avery. How do you end up coming to Valpo?
So forgive me, coming off an illness and speaking is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I try to push through this for everybody. I actually found out about Valpo through a high school friend and teammate who had family in Indiana, and he recommended the school, mentioned he was going to be looking at Valpo, and I was set on doing an engineering degree and playing soccer. So the combination of those things are what led me to the program, and I'm so grateful that he made that recommendation. I came out to camp and met Mike and Rick King was the assistant at the time, and yeah, it was just a magical, the connection was there from the very beginning.
Well, Mike did mention that you were as good a student as you were a player, and you took pride in everything you did, and that's why you were so well accomplished. Is you worked your best at every single thing you did. Where does that come from?
That my parents sitting at the table with me, just my upbringing, they instilled that blue collar kind of work ethic in me from an early age, and some of it is I'm probably glutton for punishment too. I just can't not do things, and I work myself to death.
I think as Mike said, you were the most mature person on the team, including the coaches.
I don't know about that. Maybe not the most mature, but I was a stickler for rules and just doing things the way that I felt was right. And I was always going to try to do things to the best of my ability and the way I thought they should be done.
When you got to Valpo, they had a goalkeeper, Ryan Schwartz, very good goalkeeper.
Very good.
What was that like? He was a couple years ahead of you, but you were practicing with him, playing with him, trying to earn more minutes. I think there was a year where he was injured and you got to play early on in your career. Tell us about that relationship.
So Ryan was fantastic. And actually, when I was recruited, I was expecting to redshirt my freshman year. I wasn't expecting to play at all. I didn't stop growing until I was halfway through school here. So I came in, I was very small, very raw. And so the expectation for me was that I would learn from Ryan. And a couple weeks before the season started, before the school year started, the two goalkeepers decided they weren't going to play anymore, transferred out, and it was just me and him. And then I believe it was our first preseason game that year. He tore ligaments in his thumb and could not play. And so I was expecting,
You went from being a redshirt to the only goalie left on the team.
Yes. And Brendan Roth is in the room. He was a forward on the team. He, as soon as Ryan got hurt, we started training him to be a goalkeeper just in case something happened to me. And I think there were a few times where collisions in games where he actually had to warm up and think he was maybe going in. I'm sure that was he's glad he didn't have to. But back to Ryan, he was fantastic. He was the standard, and so he really set the bar high for me. And watching him in training through the first part of that season when I arrived on campus, that was what I was trying to live up to give the team and my teammates what they deserved.
You had a successful freshman season. Don't be modest. You had a successful freshman season, but then Ryan came back the next year, and there was was that the year you had to make the decision?
That was the year I got to redshirt.
Yeah.
So that was when I just got to take a step back and let him do his thing. Again, he had another great year. This was, I think, Mike Avery's third year in charge, and that was, I think, our most successful year with the program up to that point in the last 20 years prior. So it was a good opportunity for me to work on all of the things that I felt I wasn't strong enough in that freshman year.
Was there ever a point those first couple of years where you thought you could have a career as a professional soccer player?
No. In high school, I wanted to continue playing, and so I looked at Division II schools. I wanted to just continue to play at the highest level I could, and Valpo was the right place for me. It was a great place for me. And then it was the same thing when I left school year. If I could continue to play, I wanted to, but it was never something where I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I was actually interviewing with Caterpillar. I was in the last round of an interview for an engineering job. And one of the questions they asked me in that final interview was, what's something that would prevent you from taking this job? And I told the guy, well, the MLS draft is in a week, and there's an outside chance that I might get selected and be able to continue a soccer career. And then if I get that, I'm definitely taking it. And as it happened, that came to pass, and it wasn't ever anything that I thought was going to happen, but I was going to take the opportunity if it came, and I'm grateful that it did.
And it was in large part because you had two great seasons that as a starter after Ryan graduated in 11 and 12. They beat high majors during that time. I think you shut out Notre Dame at one point, 1-0. Is that familiar?
We only ever played Notre Dame in the spring. It's not.
I think Northwestern.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right? Was that the tournament? Can you shut out Northwestern?
Yeah, one of the early on-season tournaments, and shut out Northwestern. Mike and the staff did a great job of scheduling really tough competition for us outside of our conference schedule. And I was fortunate to get to play against Big Ten schools every year, and it was I think it prepared me really well for not only our conference season, but then later on after I left, play against the biggest and the best.
I think you had a clean sheet against Ohio State, and it was part of an incredible run. I think over an 8-game stretch, you gave up just one goal. That probably helped you get drafted.
I did, for sure did. Without that stretch in 2011, no one would have ever heard of me. It would have been, yeah.
All right, take us now to post-Valpo. And you traveled around a lot the last 8 years, playing soccer, learning more from professionals. What were those next 9 years like after that?
It was a dream. Honestly, I got to travel the world, play a game. I got to share a locker room with living legends of the game. When I was in New York, I got to meet Pele a few times, and
Before Cosmo himself.
yes, and Raul from Real Madrid, who was at the time the leading goal scorer in the Champions League, was a teammate of mine for a year in New York. Marco Senna, World Cup winner with Spain. Just getting to be around those types of players and people was never in a million years could I have imagined the places I go and the people I would meet, and then it was a dream, a whirlwind, a great experience.
You got to put your engineering degree on hold for about a decade.
It's still on hold. It's very much so.
So what are you doing now? You finally, I think it was 2021, finally stepped down from soccer?
Yeah, 2021. I was finally broken beyond this. Broken beyond no desire to continue putting myself through the grind that you have to go through to play against the biggest and the best. and stepped away from the game for a year, tried something a little bit different, worked in an office, hated it, and then just while I was doing that, towards the end, I was asked by a friend who was coaching youth soccer if I'd just work with one of his goalkeepers. Okay. I was out on a field, and my coach, goalkeeper coach, that I was with for 6 years at FC Dallas, saw me out on the field training a kid and asked if I would be interested in getting back into coaching the FC Dallas second team, a team that I was fortunate enough to win a championship with 2019. And I started those conversations, and like 2-3 weeks later, took the job a week into a season that had already started without a goalkeeper signed. And so had to go out, find a goalkeeper immediately. Had a train wreck of a season, but that laid the foundation for me to start my coaching career, and it's been a very nice couple of years since, and I love it. Trying to instill in young players the lessons that I've learned over the years and shared the experiences that I had with them. It's been a rewarding experience.
The engineering degree will remain on hold for the foreseeable future.
All that knowledge is gone.
Congratulations, Kyle Zobeck. And let's welcome in the next recipient of the induction into the 2026 Valparaiso Hall of Fame.
Ryan Brokoff was a standout